To make it less cutting, I'm going to align 2 of the corners. And because these are all angles, I'm not going to use the lines on the board. I'm just going to make sure that my corners are all taped down so that I don't have to move anything. So I'm taping this corner. I'm actually going to tape multiple sides. I'm trying to like zoom out so you guys can see. But I'm taping all different sides because as I start to cut, pieces are going to come off. And I don't want my template to come off of my board or off of the paper that I'm cutting into. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to make sure my X-Acto knife blade is nice and sharp. I'm going to use my ruler, and all of these solid lines are the lines I'm going to cut. So I'm just going to follow this line and completely, actually before I cut, sorry, let me do this. You're going to need a scoring tool, which is this nice thick heavy, what do you call this, paper clip. So using my ruler, I'm going to, any dotted line, I'm going to add pressure, and that's going to add a scoring. A scoring is an indentation, which is where I want to do my fold. So notice I'm making sure that I'm adding a lot of pressure. This is the only time you want to add a lot of pressure. Your X-Acto knife, you don't need to press a lot. Okay, so I've done all my scoring. I'm going to need this later though, so I'm going to put that down. Going back to my X-Acto knife, I'm going to go ahead and cut this straight line all the way through both pieces of paper. So my template, I can remove that. I'm going to add my tape back on here because I don't want that to fall out. Now I've got this little baby triangle here, using my ruler again because these are straight lines cutting towards me. Notice I'm not going to cut this way. I'm going to rotate my cutting mat so that I'm always cutting towards my body, and I'm standing so I can maneuver my body around so that I'm not cutting where my hand is awkward, and I'm going to remove that little baby triangle. Now this edge, this template runs off the edge. Oh wait, let me follow around. Go back here. So again, my other straight line, and as I cut and remove this, my tape is coming off, so I'm going to take that tape and tape that back down. So notice I'm moving the cutting mat, not the paper. I'm keeping everything cut and taped to my mat, and I'm rotating. So I'm always cutting towards my body, moving my body in the right direction. And I have another little angle. I don't know if you guys can see down here. I'm trying to do this quickly because I want to show you how to fold this together. Okay, I've got the little triangles, my last little triangles here. Now, because I aligned this with the edge of the paper, I have my green paper, which is my envelope paper, sticking out. So I'm going to align that ruler with that edge of the paper because my yellow is my template. And remove that. Remember all the rules about when you're cutting with a ruler. Make sure your hand is away from the edge. And this little edge sticking out here. My yellow paper is my template, so I just basically just don't want to see any green. I'm cutting away all the green. Okay, so now I'm going to lift this up, and you can see maybe there's like a little indentation. What I want to do to get a really nice fold is use my ruler and hold that on the indentation and do a burnish. See how I'm burnishing this other edge before I fold that? With that ruler there, that's going to give me a really nice fold. Let me move my X-Acto knife so it doesn't roll off the paper. And because I'm right-handed, I'm always keeping the ruler and the paper on the right. So when I fold that, I burnish with the back of my nail, rotate the paper, put the ruler on that little score mark. Okay, so now just looking at this, I can tell that I've got this like funky cut going on here on the right. So that's going to be a tuck flap on the right or the left, and I'm going to overlap. Let me just put a piece of paper in here so you guys can see some contrast there. You can see there. And then either one's going to fold up. Now to glue this, I'm only going to glue these 3 pieces together, and this is going to be my tuck flap. What I want to do is find a piece of scrap, which I can go ahead and go back to my template here. I'm just going to fold it so it fits in. And if I put this inside, making sure my tape is not sticking out. Sorry. If I put this inside, now what I want to do is get a glue stick, and I'm going to put some glue here. Actually, I have a glue stick. Here, let me demo. So I take my glue stick with paper inside because I don't want to get glue on the inside of my envelope or else it's going to defeat the purpose and I won't be able to store anything in there because it'll all be stuck together. So with this scrap paper in there, I'm going to put some glue stick there, fold that nice and neat, and then I can pull that out and all that excess glue is on that scrap paper. And my envelope is done. So as later tomorrow we're going to start cutting our shadow box, you can actually, let me stop recording.